Yep. What's going on, guys? We're here. We're live. Welcome to a brand new Poker Live podcast. My name is Joe Ingram1. Today's podcast is brought to you by the Privilege Corporation of Southern Tennessee here in the United States. The Privilege Company of Tennessee got in touch with me, and we are producing a video together that'll be out later today or tomorrow, investigating the meeting of Check Your Privilege. Stay tuned for that. It'll be on my YouTube channel at Joe Ingram1. Check out the podcast on iTunes. Search for the Poker Live podcast. And that's it. Let's get into it, man. Today's guest, a young gentleman who is one of the exclusive members of this year's October/November 9. He's a man who potentially stands to win $8 million. He's a man who's been playing poker for quite a long time. I believe he is a fellow former Supernova elite as well, which means he can grind very hard. And he's a guy who I've met before. I believe you may have even helped me out with a trade of money at one point in time. I can't remember the specifics of that situation, but we're going to find out a little bit more about him. We're going to find out how he's preparing, and we're going to hopefully give him the podcast run good as he attempts to win the main event this year. We got Kenny Hallaert in the house. Kenny, what's up, puppy? Welcome to the podcast, man.
Hi, Joey. Thank you. Yeah, it's all true what you're saying. I indeed playing poker for a long time. I've helped you out in the past with some financial trades. That's correct. You call me a young guy. Nowadays in poker, I wouldn't say I'm quite of a young guy anymore. But anyway.
That's true. How old are you?
How do you think I am?
Oh, boy. Here we go. All right. Well, you're not a girl, so I can answer this question any way I want. Shout out to me. But 31. Younger?
34. I am.
34.
Yeah.
Man, you are. Yeah, I guess you are pretty old for online poker, man.
For online poker, indeed. Yeah, I've been playing poker for 12 years already. So it's quite a long time already since I started. And I've been Supernova Elite 2 or 3 years ago.
Did you just get Supernova Elite one time, or did you get it more than once?
One time. When I started, I did it like a 2-year plan. But then all of a sudden, PokerStars changed their VIP program and stuff, and since I was in Belgium and the dollar rate was kind of bad at that point as well, the second year wasn't really worth it anymore to grind for it, so I just did it only for 1 year, unfortunately.
So your PokerStars name is Spacey FCB, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. I decided to play some live poker again then, like last year, and can't complain how that turned out as well, actually. So definitely don't regret the decision of going back a little bit more to live poker.
So you've also, I found this unique is that you've kept like a tournament director job. You've been working, and I believe now you're working in Belgium with Unibet. And kind of what's all that about? So how long have you been involved with the tournament directing stuff, and when did you start working with Unibet?
I started working in the industry in 2008. Started as a marketing manager for a live poker room, live casino in Belgium. And throughout the years, that job transformed more or less into organizing events and eventually becoming a TD. And I always kept that job. I always considered actually my main job. Always considered poker as a hobby to me. And just before the main event this year, I came to an agreement with Unibet to being the TD for their Unibet Opens. So, which was, cool for me to have an extra job. And all of a sudden, I made it to the final table of the main event as well. So it's kind of a weird thing to happen.
So you call them up, you're like, I'm have to take back that position. I'm not busy now.
No, I never considered it to immediately stop it. I did run 2 events for Unibet even during the time we had off between reaching the final table and now. But those events were back in August and beginning of September. So I still had plenty of time to prepare myself for the big one. If it would have been an event this week, I obviously would not have done it because it would have been too close. But the time in between was more than enough for me to still prepare myself for the final table.
It's crazy. I guess some other people that probably have jobs. I think Key Win at the final table, I believe he's a professional baccarat player. I can't imagine he quit his day job during this lead up to the final table. I think Fernando Pons, according to his Twitter avatar during the live streams that we did, I think he works in some sort of blow up doll sales. So maybe I don't know if he kept his job or if he was still working his job. So, but yeah, I imagine you're probably not the only person that kept working some sort of normal type of job.
Yeah, I have no idea what the others have been doing throughout the last few months. I mean, I assume they have been preparing themselves as well, but I mean, a little bit distraction sometimes is good. I mean, if you're preparing like the whole time and sitting behind your desk and studying for 12 hours a day, that's it's kind of exhausting as well. So sometimes you need to have some time off, and if you can do that with your regular job, why not?
That's definitely true. So I know about all these players because during the main event final table back in July, or when it was coming down, we did a live stream. We did a couple live streams on Twitch and that are on YouTube if you want to watch those. So we sort of learned, we researched all the players like during the stream, and we kind of learned as much as we could about all the players. So if you need some insight on a little bit of the players, like I mentioned, Key Win, his favorite game is not poker, it's baccarat.
I know that already.
You knew that already. Does he talk about it at the table?
He's not that good in English, actually, so it was hard to communicate a little bit with him. But I read in some interviews afterward that he considers himself baccarat as his favorite game to play here in Vegas. So, yeah.
I love that guy. That I mean, he's one of my favorite players at the final table. But Fernando Pons also, on his Twitter, he had his main avatar picture was him and a blow up woman, like blow up doll or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what the deal was with that, but I know he qualified in through, I believe through some like a $27 tournament or something like that on 888 poker. And now he's at the main event final table and he's already won $1 million. It's
yeah,
pretty,
I think he will have the best aura of everybody, no matter what will happen at the final table. Yeah, it's pretty nice for him, of course, for $27 making at least $1 million and having a decent shot. That's a lot more. Although he's the short stack, though, he only has 12 bigs to start. So, well, but we'll see how it turns out. I mean, winning a coin flip and you're back in the game.
Yeah, it's kind of so it's there's two really short stacks here, and the payout structure is a little bit weird. So each person stands to win $1 million, but I know it's kind of weird. Yeah, ninth is $1 million. So I'm curious. I want to know what you think about this. So ninth's $1 million, eighth 1.1 million, seventh 1.2 million. Sixth to 1.4 million, fifth to 1.9 million. So when you look at payout structures like that, I mean, I guess we don't want to get too much into strategy and approach because obviously I'm sure some of the other guys are watching. I'm sure some of their coaches maybe watching. Shout out to my boy. And so I guess when you see that, do you like the payouts like this, or do you think it really changes the dynamic of things? Because it seems like it would probably change the dynamic a slight amount. I'm not sure how much, though.
But the payouts are indeed a little bit different than with standard tournaments. First of all, there was the big bubble going from 10 to 9th.
Right.
10th place only got 650K. So it was already a weird dynamic at the 10-handed table, where there was a big pay jump for the 350K pay jump for making the final 9, and then all of a sudden, then there's only 100K jump, and then a 150K jump, and a 200K jump for the next couple of pairs. So you had to adapt your game a little bit at that point as well, and making the final 9 was quite important if you were only with like 11 players left and you were kind of short. But now, indeed, it's rather flat at the start, and then it's really top heavy in the end. The difference between second and first is going from 4.5-ish to 8 million. So that's a big jump, and it's weird, but I mean the payouts are there. We know what the payouts are, so it's up to us to adapt our strategy accordingly. And we did some. I had some people around me that helped me out. Did some study about the payouts as well, and then we took into consideration different scenarios that might come up. So we are prepared to start the final table, and we'll see how it turns out.
So do you feel like this break, this has been kind of a widely discussed thing. There's, it ends in July 14th or something like that. It resumes at the end of October. Some people, first they liked it, like the gimmick. They thought maybe it added a little bit. Now people are like, all right, maybe we should end this sort of tradition. As one of the players now who's got to experience it, do you wish it would have just started then, or do you sort of enjoy this time to prepare a little bit more?
I think my advantage would have been decent if we kept continuing to play. I'm used to, as an online player, grinding multiple days, long hours anyway. And I think the others would have suffered more from it. But on the other hand, I didn't mind having the break. I remember at the end of day 5 and at the end of day 6, I made 2 mistakes, which could have been a little bit due to fatigue, were like small errors, which actually turned out in my favor. There was one hand where the small blind completed, and I wanted to make it like 3.5 fix, and I made like 5.5 fix from the big blind. And I think I had king 10 off, and the guy had king jack off, and managed to run it straight or something and win the pot. And then at the end of day 6, I thought I was opening from the small blind with the good old 9-6 off, while there was a raise in front of me.
Oh, no, that's not.
So I ended up being a call, but I ended up flopping 2 pair, which where the other guy had, I think, ace queen or something. I don't know. And managed to win that hand as well. So yeah, we're 2 errors that turned out in my favor. But it's 7 days we had. To get to the final line, it's long. It's long days. Even if you compare to an EBT, that's 6 days as well. But those days are really rather short. It usually starts at noon and ends at 9 p.m. But here we're at the rear from every day from like noon until 1-2 a.m. in the morning. So it's really long days, and you're just exhausted after those 7 days. But the same applies for everybody. But I would have thought that I would have had a bigger advantage over them if we kept continuing to play. But on the other hand, I didn't mind the 3 months break in between. It gives you the time to prepare yourself, study your opponents a bit, who can help you to solve a couple of leaks in your game and just help you in general to improve your game, so that you can, so that you're in good condition to start the final table. And I think in general for poker, though, that 3 months in between is a good thing. It builds up the hype here. There are the ESPN episodes that were airing every week up until the final table. So the WSOP, they are not doing it solely for us, the players. They're doing it to build up that hype and to make sure that they can have that they can live broadcast the final table on ESPN, and that's something that's good for poker. And in the meantime, it's our job as ambassadors to stand up as ambassadors for the game and promote the game as well. Because during the last 3 months, we were like in between brackets, the most 9 important poker people. We were like 9 players that had like the most spotlights on it during the last couple of months. So it's our job to be to promote the game and be good ambassadors for the game, and that's good for the overall growth of the game. Because if you want to continue the game that we all love, the game of poker, we should act as good ambassadors for the game.
Yeah, I think you guys were definitely 9 of the top 10. Of course, William Kassouf, the most popular player in the whole entire world right now, is of course the one with the most spotlight on him, because he's the most popular poker player in the world now, man. And you mentioned the like a boss hand, the good old 9-6. So that's a very special hand.
I should have. Yeah, when I won it, I should have stayed with 9-6 like a boss. Would have been
all right.
cool.
So you got a chance to. You got a chance to play with the guy, obviously. Like there's.
I played with him a ton. All of day 6 and half of day 7, he was at my table.
So tell the people a little bit, because they want to know. They want to know what was he talking? Was he using the speech play on you? Did you crack? Did you tell him to check his what's your experience from being someone who played a lot with him during those last couple days?
I wasn't annoyed by his speech play. I don't care if people talk to me or not in the hand. I'm never replying anyway. So it's 1 ear in, 1 ear, other ear out if they're talking to me. It really doesn't bother me. But the thing that bothered me, and actually everybody at the table, was his stalling the whole time. He was just taking time for every single decision. And for the most simple pre-flop decision, and even if he was in a pot and actually was to him without facing a decision, like it was checked to him or he was first to act, every single time he took extreme amount of time, and that got annoyed. Yeah, that was the main thing that was annoying us. Just his time taking, not his table talk, because we're all experienced players enough to not be influenced by that. Just the time taking. And even you saw it on the screen or on the live episodes, you could see it. Like sometimes he just asked for a chip count while he had like 9 high and he was facing all in. I mean, but that's only a couple of hands are showing. For us, it was every single hand we had to face we had to wait basically. I think the hand, like the time it took to play a hand, like half of the time was his action, and then the other half of the time of the hands were just all of us eight others combined, basically. And that's the main thing that got us annoyed, and we were starting calling the clock and on him on most of the hands, and then all of a sudden he said, yeah, but I have a decision. But yeah, I mean, sometimes indeed he could have a hand, but he lost that credit of his time taking. Well, because he did take a lot of time during the previous hands, of course.
Yeah, it's the kind of the forums and the social media stuff. I feel like they're really only getting, they're kind of getting half of the picture. I think some people know that, but unless you really experienced it, you don't necessarily even know what that means. Like you can understand, like, yeah, okay, guys tanking, sure. But I think most players that don't really play much live or that don't really play much poker in general, like when they hear that, they don't understand why it matters, why it's bad, what it means, and they have some idea, but they don't like it's got to be frustrating when you're, when there's multiple different tables and, these other tables are playing so many other hands and you're not playing that many hands. And it seems like you're at a pretty big disadvantage in that situation. And
the weird thing was when he like from what I saw, he was taking less time when he had lesser chips, and he was taking more time when he had more chips, which totally doesn't make any sense actually. But it frustrated us because, I mean, it's the final it's the final day of the main event. Well, not it was the final day back in July, and final 3 tables of the main event. So you do wanna play a bunch of hands, of course, to try. I mean, to maximize your EV, and having to play so few hands was just so annoying. But then, I mean, he's out now, so we won't have to suffer that anymore at the final table, at least.
I like William Kassouf, man. I like the guy. I don't know. He's got the lines. Marvelous. How far to Hollywood? What you show, I show with coconuts.
I mean, talkative players are good for poker in general. I know I'm not the most talkative player at the table, and some table talk can be good, but it's not table talk anymore as well. He's repeating the same thing over and over again. It's like Gordon Vio said, just like a band recorder, that's where you push play, and it's the same thing coming out over and over again as well. I mean, on TV you only see like a couple of lines one time, but we had to hear those same lines over and over again, and But like I said, the speech play didn't bother me, but it was just the time taking that was bothering me. And I mean, I would, if he would have imagine he would be at the final table, I wouldn't mind just calling the clock every single hand on it, honestly.
That would be fun. That'd be fun to watch. I mean, it'd be enjoyable to see as a spectator, I think.
I think as well, yeah. And I mean, definitely. And even if he would have faced a tough decision, he created the situation his own. He shouldn't have taken so much time for previous spots anyway. So.
Yeah. Okay. So tell people a little bit about kind of your background. So, you mentioned you play 12 hours and you've been Supernova Elite one time. You've been working in around the tournament business since 2008, 2009. So kind of what's been your progression to get to this point in terms of poker from online and then when you transitioned more to live?
Well, yeah. Like I always wanted to have a job next to playing poker. For me, it was good to do something else outside of playing poker because grinding all the time can be exhausted as well. And for me, it was an income that I had as well, which paid the bills, basically. So I didn't really have to worry at the start of my career about going broke or something with poker, or made sure to have an income from playing poker. Even if I would go broke with my poker bankroll, I would still have my regular job. So it was way more, I could play way more stress-free because I had a job next to it. But I started, like I said, playing back in 2005. end of 2004, I got to know poker and started studying on the game like early 2005. Grinded limit hold'em back in the days.
Oh, no.
Stakes limit hold'em. That's how I built my bankroll. Yeah. Good old limit hold'em. Grinded up in stakes, then switched to no limit hold'em, grinded up in stakes as well. And around 2008, I started liking tournaments more than cash games. So then I transformed more into a tournament player. And now the majority of the poker I play, I would say 90%, is playing tournaments. Although lately I like playing some live cash as well. Online cash, I'm not a quite fan of it, but live cash I do enjoy playing that as well. But yeah, I kept studying on the game. Maybe I would say between 2011 and 2014, I lacked a bit of studying. I mean, like before 2011, the tournaments and poker in general was way softer. And if you wouldn't win a tournament today, you would have won a tournament the next day, or worst case, the day after. So there was no need to study. And I kind of regretted that, like about 2 years ago, when we actually saw that my results were lacking a bit. So then I thought, well, let's go back to the drawing table basically, and start studying a bit back on my game. So I improved a bit on my game throughout the last couple of years, and it's hard to say that I didn't succeed in the final table to Colossus last year as well. Had a decent run in the main event last year, finished 123rd, and now this year all of a sudden I made the final table. Obviously, it's not only because I studied a lot. I mean, I won big pots at critical, or I won the coin flips at the good moments, of course, as well. But it definitely helped improve my improvement of my game. That definitely had something to do with the results I have been making lately.
For sure. I mean, it turns out when you work on your game, you sometimes maybe get a little bit more lucky. You sometimes have better results. Like, it's very weird how those two things sort of correlate with each other. And obviously you mentioned, there's variance, of course, and you have to run good in certain spots, but you prepare yourself, you put in the work. So when you get in those spots, you're able to, I mean, it's just that's how poker works. That's how it is. And I think a lot of players out there neglect that part, especially people that have been playing for a long time. And that's why a lot of people who fall off, they can't win anymore for whatever reason, whether it's online or live, they don't even realize they can put in work because they've been not doing it for so long. And I think it's something, I think it's something that is actually hard for someone like, who's been playing a long time, and then 2 years, you're not really working much on your game. Now you're like, all right, let me go back to the drawing board. Let me actually put some stuff in here and let me get better. And I mean, that's the exact example of what can happen. You put in the work and you start having some really great results.
Yeah, indeed. Like I say, variance is a big part of the game. I mean, it's all. But I mean, if you're on a heater, it's fun times. But in the times where you're like losing 80% of your coin flips in big pots, those times can be quite annoying. And then it's just more of a mental thing, just to try to get over it but you have to realize that variance is a part of poker, and a lot of players, successful players, even don't know that that's a big part of it. They're just thinking that winning is normal, and that's definitely not the case. You have to be aware that once the negative variance kicks in, times can be tough, and then, like I say, you have to be mental strong enough to get over it and keep working on your game and just keep grinding, and don't be shy to sometimes drop a little bit in stakes. I mean,
for sure.
That's also a problem. I think a lot of poker players have, that their ego is too big to drop down in stakes, and then eventually they go broke. And then it's just how it is. And actually, I think my biggest spot I lost, it was equity wise. It was somewhere 2009, 2010. That pot actually gave me the mental strength to, how should I say? I'm going to tell the situation. Not the guy that tells a lot of bad B stories, though. But it was EPT Monte Carlo, so the grand final, final 37 players. I'm second in chips, and I get it in with aces versus kings versus the guy who's first in chips.
No way! Holy fuck!
And there's a third guy in the hand who eventually folds his ace king pre-flop.
That's sick. Wow.
So I get like 1 hour for like a 5 times average spot or something at that point for like more of a final table average stack. Equity-wise, it was by far the biggest pot I lost in my career. But that pot gave me the mental strength to realize that, I mean, this is just a part of poker. And I only got stronger out. I came stronger out of it instead of like jumping off a bridge with maybe some people would do. I just found the mental strength in losing that pot and realizing, okay, this is poker. This is things that can happen. And just, I mean, every pot I'm losing now, can always think back, well, there are worse things in poker too. I mean, it can always be worse. And like if you lose like a small coin flippers, or like if you lose an important coin flip, then there's still, it could always go back to that one hand where I say, well, I've seen worse before, so just don't care about it. And even if you're giving like a bad beat out to somebody else, it was always like, okay, well, I've been on the other side of the bad beat as well, so it's just part of the game. And mentally, I gained a lot from losing that pot, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, experience those downswings, experiencing that failure, taking those shots and missing, I think those are the things that really help build you up and build up that mental side of things. And kind of going back to something that you said was that when you're going through a downswing, your mentality, your mindset is affected in all sorts of ways for different people. And when you do work on your game, now that confidence is you're getting there. It's there. Your confidence is just higher because you worked on your game more. So when you go through those downswings, your confidence is shaken a little bit. It's just like a natural thing for most people. But at the same time, it's going to be higher just because you know you put the work in and you understand variance. The more you learn, the more you understand variance is a part of things. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, whatever. I'm preaching to the fucking choir here. I know you guys ain't nobody out there trying to put no work in your game. I got it. It's okay. But you do, you're gonna get rewarded, man. But that hand, by the way, that's a sick fucking hand. Is that recorded anywhere? Is that like on? Is that so?
It wasn't on another table. It was 37 players left. Yeah, it just happened. I mean, chips went in pre-flop.
That's like crazy. I mean, like I'm not a big like hand guy, but that's insane. That's 1 and 2 in a tournament. 36 left. EPT Monte Carlo. What is it, the Monte Carlo one?
Yeah, the 10K Monte Carlo one.
Right.
One.
Yeah.
It was the one Nicolas Chudi eventually won. Actually, he was the only guy that had throughout the tournament more chips than the size of that pot. It wasn't against Chudi. It was against another guy. But and it was such a big pot. But I mean, then you go to I think I cashed for 40,000 something, and then I think, well, congratulations with your result. Yeah, fuck you.
Oh, but, we gotta.
I was really disappointed at that point, of course, because for me it was a lot of money. I was still at the start of my career, but I put myself over it. So
we got a nice comment from someone in the chat. I know that we both know. I don't know how to actually say his last name though. Stephen Van Zadelhoff.
Zadelhoff, yeah, you can. Stephen Van Zadelhoff, yeah.
One of the.
Where can I see the chat actually?
The chat's on YouTube, Pop. Let me give you a link. He says, "The better I get, the more lucky I seem to be." Ain't that the truth, Poppy? Ain't that the truth?
I want to open the YouTube.
I'll Facebook you the link for it, Poppy. Guys, we're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitch. Comments, questions, as always, are appreciated. I see a lot of familiar faces out there, as always. Thank you very much for tuning in. The World Series of Poker main event. When's it going to be? I sent it to you on Facebook. When's the live stream going to be? What day is that? Sunday?
Sunday. We're starting on Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific time here, so it's 8 p.m. Eastern. And the live stream starts with a 20-minute delay, so it's 8:30 Eastern on ESPN when the live stream will start on Sunday. And then we're playing down to the general plan is to play down to the final 6 on day 1, final 3 on day 2, and then finish it on day 3. But it depends a bit how fast it goes. I mean, if after 1 hour we're 6 players left, we're likely going to continue a bit. And if after 6 hours we're still with 7 left, they might just call it a day anyway. It's basically a little bit ESPN has the decision on it, how long we will be playing. So, but that's, like I said, down to 6 on day 1. That's the general plan.
Just the guys we want in charge of things. ESPN, perfect.
Yeah, I remember Steven saying, "My son." I literally throw my son. Back at the time I was still playing with sunglasses, which I don't do anymore. But I remember like throwing my sunglasses after losing that puck, like basically from one side of the room to the other side of the room.
Man, I would have. I mean, yeah, I don't even know. I mean, that's tough. That's pretty tough. Yeah.
Yeah, I see Justin asking a question, why are we starting in October and not in November? Usually it's indeed, we're always starting in November, but it's every 4 years because of the elections that taking up too much media attention, especially this year. They decide to push it back a little bit. So now that's why we're starting in October, but normally from next year it will be again in November. So we're like the October-November 9th a little bit, but let's just call it still the November 9th for the ease of things, I would say.
That is exactly the reason. Matt Dwyer says, "Hey puppy, you ruin podcasts for me. Now everyone else just can't compare. Bang bang." And they interrupt fucking guests nonstop. You're the end boss, Poppy. They do. You can study some conversational GTO on the internet, and you can learn some things. So yeah. Don't trying to look at the chat though. It's distracting. I promise you. Okay. Don't.
Yeah, it is because I'm looking at the chat right now.
Don't get the chat. I'm a professional. I'm a professional at navigating the chats. I have chats.
Okay, yeah. I closed the chat now. So if you see some question popping up towards me on the chat, just send it to me, and I'll definitely gonna answer it.
Marvelous. Who do you got coming out to Vegas? You got family, friends? Is there going to be another big party if you win over at what was that place that I saw you at that year? What was the
rooftop bar? The rooftop bar. I don't know what it might be the Ghost Bar. Is it called like that? No, Ghost Bar is in Palms, right?
Yeah, Zode.
I'm not sure.
Steven would know. He was there. He was enjoying himself. He'll probably tell us the name of that place.
I don't think Steven remembered anymore that he was there, actually.
Yo, that night was fun, man. That was I'm not sure how I ended up there, but there was like some strip, like a Dutch/Belgian strip club outing afterwards, and a lot of PLO guys were there. That was a fun party. That was a fun time.
I did miss the strip club part of that thing, though. But well, actually, if you win, you get a party from the WSOP. But I kind of need to want to have a backup plan in case I don't win it, which is more likely than me winning it, of course. So I will throw in a small party with some drinks and with friends and family that are coming over here. And some people, there's a decent amount of poker players as well come over from what I have swapped with and stuff. So a nice group of people. Yeah.
Have you let your friends and family know that watching this in the Rio is literally during it is one of the most boring things you can ever possibly do? You'd let them know that, right?
Watching poker can be boring, but it's the final table. I was here the last 2 years as well, and like especially if you can sit at the rail, it's a little bit more exciting. In the theater, it can be a little bit boring, but if you're there with a couple of friends and you can have some drinks and you can follow the stream a bit as well, and then it's the one to. It's such a special tournament. It's a tournament on its own. You cannot compare it to watching anything else, I would say. So I would say it's less boring than watching any other tournament because it's the main event. I'm not saying that because I'm sitting there, because I was there the last 2 years as well without me sitting there at the table. So
yeah, I think I like the change that they made from like a purely a spectator standpoint, just from being there, which doesn't matter. That's like a less than a point something % of the audience anyway, but it's kind of cool. You go from 9 to 6, doesn't take that long. On TV, it's easier to consume as well. Next day, come back. You can build up some continuity for as an audience watching it. So you go watch it on TV, 6 to 3. Next night, you got the heads up, the 3 to the 1. I like the format. I like how they do that now. I think it's a pretty good idea.
I think it's also for TV, because I remember when it was even over 2 days. I think it was 2013 when I remember going. There were 3-handed. Merson, the year Merson won. Merson, who was there? Jesse Sylvia, and forgot the third guy's name.
Russell Thomas.
Russell Thomas. Yeah, I remember going to bed back in Belgium, like with 300 left, and it already took. I didn't want to stay up, and then first thing in the morning, of course, I want to know like, oh, who won? And like I'm going online and I see like there's still 3 hands. I'm like, what the fuck? So I think just to have a little bit more prime time in general in ESPN, that they decided to spread it over 3 days, and for the players as well, because I mean it can be long, especially with all the breaks and stuff. The days can be long. Although you're not playing that much, even if you play like for, I think if you play 6 hours, you're already like having 10 hours of TV time with all breaks and commercials in between. So to give us some time as well, and for to have it streamed during more prime times on ESPN, I think it's good to have it spread over 3 days. And even as those days, you can adapt a little bit to your play. You can study a bit how your opponents have been playing throughout the first day. So it should give you a bigger advantage as well.
That's true. Yeah, you can, because obviously the cards will be shown, so you can have other people watching. They'll be able to pick things up potentially. You'll be able to watch. You'll be able to pick things up, and then I guess that goes into strategy as well. If you make it back to day 2, well, now maybe you switch up this or you switch up that, or because if people see you maybe doing one thing, could be then GTO to maybe switch to another type of style. So definitely.
Yeah. And I have people who will be watching the stream and who will be following everything closely and take notes and send them to the correct people, so that we're able to I would say improve our game, but to change our game plan maybe if necessary, depending on what other players will be doing.
Yeah, it looks like we do have a pretty professional type of final table. We got a lot of guys in there, been playing poker a very long time. Cliff Joseph, he's chip leader, obviously, legendary guy in the online poker world. Now, people they saw him on TV, they think he's whatever he called him, a clown. Now people are talking all kind of who knows what. Key Win, I don't believe he's a professional poker player. I'm not going to stereotype him at all, but I would assume that never mind. Gordon Value obviously has been around for a very long time poker player. Michael Ruan, I don't know much about Michael, but I think he's from the East Coast, and I think he's been playing for a bit of time. Obviously, Wojtek Ruzka, online guy. Ruzishka, online poker player for a bit of time as well. Griffin Banger, obviously Griffin's been around a long time. Jerry Wong, don't call me Jerry Wang. I think he's been around for a while too. And then Fernando, the amateur. So it's a pretty long time regular type of final table here.
Yeah, it is. I mean, apart from Pons and Queen Wenry, everybody has like a decent online background. And I thought I saw like a tweet passing by after making it November 9. Somebody saying, not sure if this is the final table of the main event or the final table of the 109 rebuy from back in the days. And it looks a bit like that because we're all been playing online for years, and especially like apart from Queen Wen and Fernando Pons, everybody has been around for years, and I think it will be quite a competitive final table as well. I think we're all, I mean, nobody stands out, I would say, but nobody is an underdog as well, and stacks are still quite deep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the average stack is 78 big blinds or something, so it could be long days as well. But you might be able to see some interesting poker hands coming by as well. So will be fun to watch.
No, I agree. I think it'd be fun to watch. I think that, did you watch the 300K Super High Roller Bowl the Aria put on earlier this year? That was the 3-day event.
No, I didn't watch it actually. It was Rainer Kemper who won it for. And yep. Fedor Holtz got second in that one, right? Yeah.
Yep, that's the one. Rainer got first, Fedor got second, and Philhelmuth got third. But the way that they had it set up was very, very nice for television because it was all live streamed, and they had a shot clock with some extensions players had. So it made for much easier watching as a viewer at home. Whereas, you remember last year's World Series, obviously on TV, you had one of the guys, Xavi Stern, tanking very long, and then. So I feel like watching this, I guess that's the thing is like I'm excited to watch it on one hand because I'm very interested in the players. I have some people I'm friends with at the table, but at the same time, the tanking thing, it's you sit there for minutes sometimes, and I guess that's sort of the thing. From a player's perspective, obviously for you, you don't think about that. You're just thinking about trying to play. But from a viewer perspective, that's kind of the way that I think about it.
Yeah, but I think with all the players that we do have at final table, I think nobody will be a big time consumer. I think everybody will play quite. Nobody will take an extreme amount of time for making simple decisions. I mean, sometimes you obviously can have a tough decision, and it's legitimate to take some time. But like with all the players that I played prior to the final table, everybody was already acting rather quick. So I think, and it's better for television anyway if we play quick, because last year's final table was the most boring TV ever shown on ESPN. I think just like everybody taking so much time to make or not everybody, but some players taking a lot of time for the most simple decisions that there were. So like I said, if we want to make poker popular again, we have to make sure that also the live episodes are worth watching, that people get interested into the game. And if you're just sitting there watching, waiting to act while somebody shoves 20 bigs from early, and we're sitting in mid with 6-9 off, and everybody's taking 20 seconds to make the decision, then it gets very boring to watch. So we should definitely try to avoid that. But I don't think we have players at the table this year that will be consuming a lot of time for easy decisions.
Yeah, it sounds like you, unlike last year's main event champ and recent podcast guest Joe McKeon, it sounds like you actually would embrace the ambassadorship role, and you're actually interested in helping poker to get out there more, to make poker better, to make poker enjoyable to watch. It sounds like you're very interested in being a part of something like that.
I think, but that's your duty. That is your duty if you're on November 9, or eventually if you become world champion. For me, like the moment you register for the main event, you're not I mean, it's something you have to take into consideration, that if you end up winning it, that you have responsibilities as well. If you win it, if you want to promote the game and to make sure people and try to get people convinced to get people into the game, that's a duty that you have. That's how not everybody might see it the same way, but that's how I see things.
Not everybody sees it that way. I mean, if I told somebody, I'd be like, it's not my fucking duty. What are you talking about? How is it my fucking duty to promote the game of poker? I come there to play. I put my money down. I just want to fucking play. I don't want to promote the game. That's certainly the thing I hear. Obviously, I'm with you. I think that, I mean, it's everyone's kind of different in the situation. Some people just aren't promoters. Some people don't give a fuck. Some people just want to play, and other people want to help, spread the game of poker. So I'm, I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I want more people playing poker, but on the other hand, I know poker can potentially be a thing that isn't good for some people. But then again, a lot of things cannot be good for some people. So
there's a lot of things. Yeah, I mean, if we have to stop promoting poker, then we also have to stop promoting alcohol and cigarettes and fast food and all things that contain sugar and God knows. I mean, there's lots of stuff that could potentially be bad for people. It's just that as a person you have to be aware what your limits are and yeah.
Ruben says this guy looks like you really do. This guy looks like the Holland version of Tony Robbins. Maybe it's his facial structure. That is spot on. That is spot on. That is the most spot on thing I've seen. Tony Robbins is like a beast, man. He's like a speaker, kind of like life guy.
Gotta Google this.
Oh yeah,
Tony Robbins.
He's the fucking man, dude. Tony Robbins is the man. But yeah, you do kind of look like Tony Robbins. I think so.
Okay. I don't see a lot of similarities though, but it's okay if you do.
Tony Robbins is the man. It's so funny you said that. Let me give some shout outs, man. Who you got watching out there? You want to give some shout outs, Kenny?
If I want to get what?
Shout out. You want to give a shout out to someone that might be watching the pod right now?
Well, shout out to Steven. I know he's watching. Best friends, best poker buddy. One of the first people I got to meet in poker. Have been playing together for years, like still playing together, traveling together, sharing rooms.
Sharing beds at 5 a.m.?
Sharing what? Beds?
Sharing a bed?
A bed? No, we never shared a bed. But
okay. We heard tournament players like doing this, so we're trying to figure it out.
No, we're close, but not that close.
I'm serious.
Yeah, I've been traveling. studying together a lot, trying to improve in the game. And yeah, shout out maybe to some of the people that have been coaching me who might be watching as well.
Shout out to them.
Yeah.
I'll give a couple of shout outs. We got
no, in Belgium. It's 1 a.m. now, I think, or 2 a.m. in Belgium. So I don't think a lot of people will watch from that. But everybody who's watching from Belgium and maybe from Europe, shout out to them as well. Thanks for
watching. They might watch it back on replay. Just remember that.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah.
I got to give a shout out to my buddy Kev Math. Always going hard. I love that guy a lot. He says, shout out to Kenny, the Vegas poker spreadsheet master. So you're the guy that makes that.
I like the tweet Ruthless sent out yesterday or 2 days ago, where he said, even if I win the main event, my biggest accomplishment still is making the heavenly WSOP spreadsheet every year.
So is that the one that has all the events from all over on it?
Yes.
Oh my God, that thing's so sick. I used that this summer when I was trying to find PLO tournaments all the time. I'm like, man, where's like Golden Nugget? Oh, I'm not going there. But yeah, that spreadsheet is GTO, man. That's very GTO.
It is. It was something I made for myself, I think 5-6 years ago. 5 years ago, I was trying to set up my WSOP show, like my Vegas schedule for the summer. Like you're looking at so many different schedules and you're going back and forth between one.
Yeah.
And it's just a pain in the ass to make up your schedule. And I was just like, I'm just going to put it in one Excel sheet and it will be easier for me to see what tournaments are on the same day. And it did, not that I didn't want to share it, but it was just something I thought, okay, it's useful for me, but I don't think many people would be interested in it. And then the year after I made it again, I sent it to a couple of friends and they forwarded it to a couple of their friends. And that's how the ball got rolling, and now I make it every year again, and I will make it this year again, or next year at least again. Don't worry, guys. Even if I win the main events, I'll kind of make it again. It's my yearly contribution to the poker worlds.
Man, that spreadsheet. Listen, if you guys go to the series, even if you aren't playing the Vegas events, or the World Series Rio events, you want to see the spreadsheet because there's so many other series throughout the summer at every casino. The Golden Nugget's got a bunch of stuff. I mean, I'm trying to think of other small ones now, but essentially every casino has these tournaments. So when you think about it, all right, what kind of players are playing at the Rio? Certain types of players. What kind of guys are playing the Golden Nugget schedule? Well, now you find it's a way to game select a little bit. It's a way to shop around. It's a way to maybe try someplace new. And it's very, very GTO. And it's a way to find all the PLO tournaments next year, which there's not many. So
yeah, I mean, all information is on there, like during usually late wedge times and stuff, and structures and like rate comparison charts and like different tabs for like all sort of mixed games. If you want to see when are the most PLO games, or if you like for horse, for example, then you can see when all the mixed games, or when and where the mixed tournaments are. It's convenient.
Very convenient. Gus says the mixed games tab this year was nice, man. We got some Belgium guys out here. Insider PS Trader. Just about to ask where he was from. LOL. 1 a.m. in Belgium. And then Lua says, hi, Kenny. I'm from Belgium. Come on, win the main event.
I'm gonna try. Gonna give it all. But the problem is not 8 other people are thinking the same, that they're gonna win the main event. So. But I like my chances. I'm 4th in chips, so I have approximately 1/8 of the chips in play. So I like my position at the table as well. I have the bigger stacks all to my right. I give myself a decent shot, but still, it's not that I'm like a 50% favorite or something to win the event. Not at all, but
sure you are. No, 50% favorite, guys. 50%. That's the bet. I'll take all bets at 50%, man. That's it. I want to talk about Belgium a little bit. So I've been to Belgium a couple of times. Shout out to Belgium. And
you've been to Tomorrowland, right?
I've been to Tomorrowland twice. I went there. Did I go last year? Was the year before? Last year, you're right. I went last year. It's been a long life. I went last year, yeah. And I mean, Brussels the biggest city in Belgium?
It is, yeah. Capital city.
It's like pretty tiny. I mean, it seems like it's spread out a little bit, but just like the downtown area where I usually stay at seems very small and like very old school, and it's like very unlike anywhere I've really been before.
Yeah, but Belgium only has like 11 million citizens, and Brussels is the capital with, I think a little bit over 1 million citizens only. So, I mean, I don't know how many cities in the US that have more than 1 million, but I would guess at least 100 cities have more than 1 million citizens. Belgium is kind of small. That's true. Yeah.
No, I like. Have you go to Tomorrowland at all? Is that something that's big in Belgium? Is that something that really exists there? Like people get hyped up and people get excited?
It's by far the most popular festival in Belgium. It gets sold out in literally minutes. It's selling out. And like half of the tickets are for Belgian people, and then the other half is for everybody. And yeah, it sells out in basically just minutes. But I've never been to Tomorrowland, actually.
I don't know if it'd be quite as glamorous as it is for, because like everyone from the world goes there, but at the same time, it's because it's like an hour and 10 minutes away from Brussels, and it's in the middle of nowhere. You get all these people like to get there. Think about to get there. Like what type of person is going to fucking go here? Like you just go there, you go there pretty open-minded, you go there pretty happy, you go there like ready to have a good time. And that makes it unique compared to a lot of American festivals, where a lot of American festivals, you can just like, oh, like Steve said, hey, you want to go to a festival here? Let's go. Sure. Whereas there, like, it's just like no one just says, hey, do you want to come join me here? It's like, no, we're like planning this months ahead of time. This is going to be awesome. We're fucking excited. Let's go. And I think that's what makes it really special out there, is that it's just all these people from around the world get together. And yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, maybe I'll go next year. I'll see if I find some time to go. It's usually straight after the World Series, right? Around
yeah, it's end of July, early August. Yeah. You know who'd probably go with you, Kenny?
Sorry?
You know who'd really like to go with you?
Who?
Jort Van Hoof, aka the cleaner. He'd really love to go with you.
Cleaner, yeah.
He's
okay. Well, let's go to three of us. Let's go to three of us next year then.
Man, he's a dancing machine. Have you seen him dance before?
No, I haven't.
You've never seen the cleaner dance?
I've never seen the cleaner dance. No.
Okay. I'm not explaining for people. Imagine. That was lagging. What did you just say? That lagged pretty bad.
I didn't say anything, but there was a small lag here. That's true.
All right.
I said I've never seen him dancing.
Imagine a 6'5" guy, big guy who moves like a 5'7" girl. Just energetic, jumping, the fucking Viking man, this massive man, just moving nonstop, just having a good time, clapping his fucking hands, looking at you. I mean, man, I've never seen anything like this in my life. I really haven't. I was one of
have you seen it? What was that at Tomorrowland that you saw, or at EDC or something?
That was at EDC. It was at EDC last year. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to EDC this year.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, definitely. I never went. It was the first time I went there, and first thing I said, I can't come back next year. So I definitely had a good time at EDC here this year.
Yeah, I think I'm a little. Friends. I think I'm like too old for EDC. I mean, I'm not too.
I thought I was too old anyway, but I thought I was too old as well. But I figured out I wasn't.
Yeah. Larry Fax in the chat says, "Papi, ask him how he became a tournament director. Come on, I want to know the steps." So, tournament director. Talk a little about how exactly it's possible. How do you become a tournament director, especially if something like the Unibet Open, which is, it's certainly something that's growing up there, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger.
Well, so I started in 2008 working as a marketing manager for a poker room inside a casino in Belgium, and French. It was in the French-speaking part of Belgium. So I mainly did the marketing for their non-French-speaking market, and the majority to the Dutch-speaking market. And basically, we only had one tournament or one festival per year. So, I mean, as a marketing manager, you try to come up with new stuff to see how you can promote the poker room and how you can get people to the poker room. So I remember writing an email to my boss and the CEO of the company saying, well, I think we should have more festivals. I mean, poker tournament festivals are great to attract people to your venue. And I mean, made a small email about it. And half an hour later, I got an email back from the CEO. He's like, yeah, let's do it. Okay, you can organize an event from that to that day. And yeah, just figure everything out. I'm like, okay. It was really challenging to me because But it was a huge opportunity for me as well to like organizing a festival that where I basically could decide everything. And that's how I slowly got into organizing events and eventually being a TD. So the first festival was in around Easter 2009. And then I suggested, well, maybe just start another festival and organize that one as well. And that's how I transformed basically into becoming a tournament director, which is kind of strange because usually tournament directors are usually people that worked as a dealer before, then became a floor and then like a senior floor and then becoming a tournament director. But I went more I came basically from the outside.
Right.
I became a tournament director and I worked mainly in Belgium as a tournament director. I'm running all the PokerStars festivals in Belgium. Did some France Poker Series, worked as a floor on the EPT. And then this year I got the opportunity from Unibet to work for their Unibet Open. So I was happy that I got that job offer. And I took that job offer. And so now I'm basically working on two tours, the Unibet Open and the Belgium Poker Challenge in Belgium, of course. Those are the two festivals or the two poker tours that I'm running at the moment. But it's I would say I got a little bit lucky getting to that position, and my experience as a player definitely helped me.
I disagree. I disagree completely, by the way, with with you getting lucky. But and I'm gonna talk about it in a second. But I want before you say that, I'm gonna say I disagree because now you're gonna explain what you actually did. You didn't get lucky. You put yourself in the position to get this job, man. And okay, but go ahead. So your experience as a poker player, right?
Yeah, so a lot of people ask me, does your experience as a tournament director help you as a poker player? That answer is no, but the other way around it is. Mm-hmm. Being a poker player helps my job as a tournament director because you're sitting a lot at the table as well, you're talking a lot with other players, and you have a good feeling of things that happen at the table if you happen to make a decision, and you know what players want and what they don't like about tournaments and structures and stuff. So it definitely helps me a lot for setting up festivals that I've been, because I'm a poker player as well.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you a question. So I recently just started doing a DFS show on Sunday nights for Roto Grinders. Obviously, I'm not very much in the DFS world. So is it lucky that I got that position? I did basically the same thing you did, and I don't know how many people picked it up.
What's a DFS show?
Daily Fantasy Sports. I forgot
okay,
you don't know what that even means. I guess that's okay.
Yeah, I heard about Daily Fantasy Sports. It's like you put up a team and then stuff. You bet some money and you play against the pool against other players or something. It's
basically, yeah.
Yeah, you can win lots of money with it.
Yeah, you can. Sure, very small percentile of people can win it though. Yeah. But
there's big prize pools. Let's put it in that way. There's big prize pools in those things. Yeah.
Yeah. But what you said was very, like that was a piece of strategy. What you just said, how you got that job. You had the foresight. You had the motivation. You had it in you. Whatever to send. Email, send a message, ask for the opportunity, just bring it up. You didn't say, hey, I want to do this. Even that, you just said, hey, I got this idea. Why don't you do something like that? That's exactly what I did. I was like, hey, I got this idea. Like, why don't you guys do something like this? And they're like, why do you want to do it? I was like, well, I mean, I wasn't thinking about it, but I sure, like, that sounds fun. And I think some people might say, you got lucky for them to say yes. But the thing is, you got to actually take that step. And a lot of people don't even take that step. They don't send that message. They don't bring up the idea for whatever reason. Maybe they're not confident. Maybe they don't have the idea. Maybe they don't think someone's going to listen to them. But I think that skill is something that is it's rare. And it's something that's, I think, is really valuable, just putting yourself out there. Because what's the worst thing he says? He comes back to you and he's like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. And then you're like, all right, that's it. Like it's status quo. Everything's what it is. But you do take that step, and then that sort of changes everything for you.
Yeah, so it's like we have a saying in Dutch. I mean, you rather have a no, and you can only get a yes. That's how it goes. And he took that step, and sometimes you just have an idea. I mean, sometimes the idea is no other people agree on that, but I mean, it worked out good for me. The ideas that I had, and I'm happy with. I mean, and I like doing the job as well as a tournament director. I always loved to organize events. Even before I got into poker, I organized various events back in my home village, like small events like soccer events and small festivals and stuff. So and for me, it was ideal. Now I could combine my passion of poker and my love of organizing events in one thing. So yeah, I'm thankful to everybody who gave me that opportunity.
So you're not going to be at the, we talked about this, but you're not going to be at the Romania Unibet Open, correct, in Bucharest?
No, the Unibet Open in Bucharest, I will not be there. And not because I don't want, but because I can't. I'm running another tournament during that same time frame, which I already agreed on before I had set up the cooperation with Unibet. So there's the Belgium Poker Challenge final in Namur, and I will be running that one, regardless of the results that I have here in the main event. And unfortunately, I will not be at Unibet Open Bucharest, no. But I have somebody else who's taking over the job as a DD, who has lots of even more experience, who is more experienced than me. So it will be a very smooth tournament as well.
Well, I will be out there at I think at the Unibet Open in Bucharest. I'll be also hosting a chess seminar for the Eastern European Chess Federation. I'll be hosting a chess seminar on location out in the streets of Bucharest while we go engage in multiple chess matches with local opponents. So that'll be December 1st, I believe, December 1st to December 5th. And that should be fun. That should be exciting. Should be something.
Well, yeah, I have no clue how to play chess, but it sounds challenging. It sounds interesting.
Depends on your opponent. There's certainly some opponents that are better than others, obviously. There's some easy opponents that don't put up too much of a fight. I'm imagining some of the local competitors in Bucharest are probably going to be people who, they're going to be able to be exploited easily. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We're going to see what happens, Kenny. We're going to find out what happens.
Chess yet to solve the game. I mean, with all GTO stuff, you would think.
Well, I mean,
first to act, you could play GTO and your opponent can never win, right? Or is it too complicated?
Well, in the context of the chess matches I'm talking about, so I'll let you in. So chess, it's not poor Kenny. Come on, he can fucking handle it. Calm down, guys. So chess is a metaphor for dating, for meeting women. Go on, hang out with a woman. Back in the 1800s, man and woman used to say, we're going to play chess to be able to get together and meet up, when really they wanted to spend some time together with each other. Kenny froze on that, maybe.
Yeah. Hello? You still there?
Processing it. The chess wore him out. Are you still, can you hear me?
I can still hear you. Yeah, only the video froze a bit. Yeah, I can see you waving your arms right now.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's and now the chat, now that the SJWs in the chat are they're kind of crying a little bit. Calm down, sicko LOL 1112. Calm down, sicko 1112. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited to go out there. I've never been to Romania, and
me neither.
How far is that from Belgium?
Like a 2.5 hour flight, I would say. Maybe not. Yeah, 2 hour flight, maybe. Not that far.
Yeah, I just assume that everyone in Europe. I mean, now I'm gonna.
It's all close. It's all close for us. I mean,
yeah, I just assume like everyone just goes to every country there. Everyone travels around. Everyone just goes to this, goes to that place, goes to this place. But I guess Romania isn't necessarily a hotbed for people to go visit.
It's not the most popular holiday destination for Belgian people, but I've never been there, so I can't say how things are around there. I've heard good stuff about it. So but in general, I didn't visit a lot of Eastern Europe in general yet. But I'm definitely eager to try out some of these places. And yeah, it's all quite. I mean, from Belgium, if you fly 2 hours, you're basically any European country. So it's quite convenient for us.
Yeah, especially if you win the main event, $8 million. You have to pay taxes on that $8 million. Is not taxes in your country?
I live in England at the moment, so in England we are not taxed on poker winnings.
Of course you live in England at the moment. Why wouldn't you live in England? Okay, makes sense. What are you gonna do if you win? You got any I could like some sort of dream, maybe that's something you always wanted to get. Obviously, like you've had to dream about it. I'm dreaming about it right now for you if you're not dreaming about it. So like what's something that in your mind? Maybe have anything you envision?
I'm dreaming about winning, but I'm not thinking about what I want to do with the money once I win. I'm gonna think about it after the event. I mean, I'll see afterwards how much money I eventually will win, and then I'll make a decision what I'm gonna do with the money. I mean, probably go on a nice holiday and stuff, and but I have no plans so far to make like big investments because I don't have the money yet anyway, so I'm not gonna waste time thinking about it.
Difference between wasting time and dreaming. Wasting time and dreaming. We're dreaming here. I mean, what do people buy these days? A house, a car? I mean, what can you really buy? I don't know. I feel like what else can you really spend a lot of money on?
I mean, I live in London, so I don't need a car. I have a car in Belgium, so for the couple of times I'm in Belgium every year, I don't need to buy a new car. I have a house in Belgium as well, so don't really need to buy new houses. I don't know. Like maybe invested in some stuff, or I mean, it don't win a lot of money on it if you just put it on your bank account anyway. So, but I'll see.
Casey in the chat says hookers. Be a lot of money. A lot of girls.
Be a lot of money to spend on hookers. I mean, if you have $8 million and you want to spend it all on hookers, I don't think you can spend it even your whole life on hookers. I mean, you can always can, of course, but
I think you could.
It'd be hard.
I think you could.
Yeah, you probably can.
You get the higher price ones, I mean.
Yeah. Go to a higher category, probably.
Maintain the Bluff says, why was he so mean to the guy with the range chart? Yeah, why were you such a mean? There was a guy with a chart there, a nice guy. Just wanted to pull out his chart to get some advice from the chart on a decision to make.
I wasn't mean to him. I was just defending my rights there.
Could that not be the same thing?
It was on start of day 5 of the main, I think.
Yeah, it could be this. You could be defending your right while being mean at the same time, though.
I wasn't mean. I just saying to him, as far as I can remember, say you cannot use it during the hand. He said, yeah, I can use it during the hand. I said, no, you can't. I said, then I want a ruling about it. That's all I said. And I asked for the ruling the moment he looked at his charts after looking at his cards. I mean, I think that's definitely my right. Imagine that we're going to do a race against each other. Just like say, let's try to run as fast as 1 mile, and the first place is $8 million. And all of a sudden, I show next to you with rollerblades. Are you gonna say, "No, go ahead"? I mean, we're not, right? You're gonna say, "Hold on."
Is that was it in the rules that you guys made?
I mean, no, but that's I mean, the rule. I mean, it should be everybody should have like the same. Nobody should have an advantage over anybody else. I mean, what if somebody next to you works with charts next to him to help him make his decision? That's just not fair to the game.
So if we were going to race for $1 million, what would be your strategy? We're going to do a mile race for $1 million. But rollerblades, you couldn't like pull a rollerblade or a car or something like that. What would be your strategy in that spot?
Train hard. That's all I could do, I think.
Yeah. I'd try to break your leg, I think.
For $1 million?
Yeah, maybe not. You're right. I'm kidding. I don't know what I would do. It's a good thing. Would you do anything out of line in that spot? Would you like try to wrestle the person down, maybe tackle them?
But those things should be in the rules anyway if you're doing it for that amount of money.
True.
Those things will be all written down in the rules.
That's true. Cocaine, that's probably a good one too, actually. I don't know. I've never ran. I mean, running on cocaine, I don't know why anyone would do that, but it doesn't sound very fun.
And I never used cocaine, so
of course not.
Could say if it would help you or not. Don't think it would help you, but
let me get some shout. We got a lot of regulars out, man. We gotta get some love. Let me see what we got out here, man. Hold on. Vernon D-Backs, what up, Vernon Poppy? Nasty Nate from Cincinnati in the house. What up, Nasty Jacob Martinez, my boy Marco. What up, Marco? Colomosakara Modacita. KC Grumbacher. What up, KC? Paul to Griffin, Marty, PKR, Deluxury. What up, man? Trevor Harvey, Smoke on it. Ruben M. Hey, puppy. Who else we got? Chris Diaz. What up, Chris? Seth Sikula. What up, Seth? What's happening, man? Dylan. What up, Dylan? D-Belv. D-Bell's 6'6", first timer here. What up, puppy? Welcome to the motherfucking podcast, son. Welcome to the live stream. Jeffrey Rutland, Kenneth Anderson, Herman Vandermonk. Let's go, Kenny. Charisma 91, Wasp, SNG, Papi, undercover regular over here. What up, kid? Vivek Rukini, Dakota, Papi Chulo Smoke. Okay, all right. Let me go back to that one question. I saw a good question. Where was that at? No? Yeah, the weirdest thing that you've experienced being a tournament director. I know you said you mentioned you work with French people, and we know the French people are kind of weird. So what's been the weirdest thing?
They just have a bigger temperament, that's all. Not weird.
The French people are unique. The French people are unique. Yeah. What was the weirdest thing to ever happen in a tournament you've directed?
I have to say I have been saved from like crazy situations. Like I never had to make like an extremely tough ruling or never had to ban anybody out of a tournament yet. Like weird stuff. I had one guy that once qualified online for tournaments, and it's like a must play. Like PokerStars policy, it's must play if you qualify online.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden he said like, well, I cannot play day 3 or 4 or whatever, or even day 2 of that event. But he showed up anyway for day 1. And the only thing he did was like shoving in blinds almost every single hand.
So what'd you do?
And he ended up winning the first couple of pots, and he started building up a stack. And I stopped him from doing it.
Did you just eliminate him from the tournament, or what happened?
No, I asked him to play a more normal game and have respect for the game instead of just splashing around chips.
And then what happened? He just played normal and he busted, or how did it go?
He busted before the end of day 1, luckily. But he started playing more. We were still playing loose and stuff, but he stopped. At least I stopped him for shoving, because definitely not a good experience for the other players at the table to have that point.
So I got something for you. I want to read this thing that was posted on Twitter the other day. Do you watch the show Black Mirror, Kenny?
Sorry?
Do you watch the show Black Mirror? It's on. It's a UK show. It's also on Netflix right now.
No, I don't. I rarely watch any shows, and last 3 months I have watching almost nothing from TV.
All right, so it's this like futuristic kind of show. It makes you think. It's very, very, very good. One of my favorite shows. Someone posted this on Twitter, and I want to read it to you and tell me what you think you would do in this spot if this happened to you. You got to put yourself in the shoes. All right. Okay. So everyone at your poker table is William Kassouf. Okay. All of them are taking pre-flop and on every street, all talking over each other, always saying the five same phrases. Eventually, you can't take it anymore, and you call the clock. The tournament director comes over, but he is also William Kassouf, and he repeats the same 5 phrases too. You run screaming to the bathroom, but all the urinals are occupied by William Kassoufs. You go to the sink, splash water on your face, look up and see your reflection in the mirror. To your horror, you are too William Kassouf. You cannot stop yourself. 9 high like a boss. 9 high like a boss. And now, from seeing Black Mirror, this was one of those terrifying things I've ever heard in my entire life. I was like, because the show like puts you in these weird spots, like it's just the weirdest fucking things, and it really make you think. And I was thinking to myself, like, what would I do if that happened? It seems like one of the most I had a nightmare last night. Like honestly, it just seems terrifying to have that happen to me.
I don't know, but I think I'd rather kill myself at that point.
They like have these I don't know who made that up, but man, you got to watch the show. Honestly, if you watch the show White Christmas episode, and then you go back and you put this story into that context, you're gonna like really be thinking to yourself, because it's I couldn't
imagine being in such a similar spot, being surrounded by Will Kassoufs the whole time at a poker table. No. It would be a legit reason to stop playing poker, I think.
So if you were a tournament director in that spot, would you have done what Jack Effel did? And he comes there and, you saw it on television. I don't know if you were at the table for that one time. And then obviously at the feature table, you were there. So how would you have handled that situation?
As a tournament, mean, Will went out of line with his time taking, not with his table talk. I mean, his table talk as well. He just annoyed people. In the whole time with repeating the same things over and over again, and it's not good sportsmanship behavior in general. I think what he did there. So I definitely would have taken some action. I don't know exactly what action I would have taken, but I definitely would have done something to stop him from doing it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Look at William Kassouf, man. Love that guy. Most famous guy in the world. I love him. Bill Straightener on Twitter asks, ask him his height. I have a side bet on it with a friend when we were watching the coverage.
169.
How tall is that?
No idea. Centimeters, bro. I'm for Europe. Don't use inches and feet and whatever.
Google this. Okay, that's pretty short.
Like 5 something?
Yeah.
5'9"?
Yeah. 5'5".
5'5".
Pretty short. Pretty short. Sika Taya, shout out to the 5th division basketball team from Finland watching right now. I'm not sure why the whole entire basketball team will be watching from Finland, but...
So what were these guys thinking how tall I was then?
I don't know. We're going to find out. I'm guessing he thought you were short. So, which you are. Let me take some questions from the chat here. Give me some questions, guys. I've seen a couple in there, good ones.
Talk about the rulings. I like discussing rulings.
Why? What do you want to talk about? What do you mean? Like you like punishing people?
No, that's just like rulings in general. If somebody has like questions about rulings,
okay,
can discuss that.
All right.
I mean, they can ask me anything. I might or might not reply.
I'm trying to think of a scenario here for that where we might need a ruling. I don't know. We'll let the chat figure one out. I haven't played too much live. Does he have a coach for the final table? Yes. He doesn't want to say it. What do you think of the guy with the cheat sheet? He already answered the question. Go back about 10 minutes. How much does he have himself in the main? That's a great question. Who knows? All right. Those aren't good yet. Let me see some other ones here.
I do have a big part of myself, of course, in the main.
Of course.
I have a decent amount of swaps. And I sold a little bit of myself after making the final table. Of my part, not sell myself. You know what I mean, right? I sold a piece as well after making.
I mean, wait. I mean, I've known some poker players that sold themselves to enter the main event. So you could have sold yourself to play the main event, but have all of yourself at the main event.
No.
Could be.
Still, I'm happy with part I'm still having for myself. So.
His coach, do you watch Twitch at all? Are you a big Twitch poker player watcher guy?
No, I rarely watch Twitch. I usually grind online myself, so don't take time to watch other people. I don't use my time to. I mean, I prefer to concentrate on my own tables than somebody else's stream. So
nice answer. Good answer. Marty, no, his coach is probably not that person. If he doesn't watch Twitch, he probably doesn't know who that is. So I'm sure it's not his coach. No. Okay, Geomir says, during the 2016 main event, a dealer mucked an all-in player's cards and they couldn't be retrieved.
Yeah.
How would you deal with that?
It's easy. It's the player's responsibility to protect his cards. Hands dead. He gets all of his chips back that have not been called yet. And if somebody already called the all-in, then he's lost all of his chips. The only way out is that we can run the board, and if the other guy cannot beat the board, it's a split pot. But otherwise, he's out, unfortunately.
Jesus.
Should protect your own cards.
I mean, that's a big lesson. Always protect your cards in that spot. You know, whether it's with a chip or whether it's with your hands or whether it's just, yeah. I mean, that's something I feel like I've in the past, I probably haven't done sometimes as well, too.
It's something that happens a lot, especially with players sitting in the 1 and 9 seats. That's just, and dealers, all they're doing all day is like putting cards into the muck. Every hand, 9 times, they're putting cards into the muck. And if they see cards there that are not protected, that are somewhere halfway on the table, it's automatically, it goes up into the muck. Just protect your cards. I always keep my one hand on my cards.
Keep one hand on your cards?
Yeah.
Equals GTO. Tejas says, where did that go? Sorry, Tejas. I lost your comment, Tejas. I apologize. I'm all in. Tejas said, my first time I played live poker, I called every action and checked if the other person didn't bet. I got kicked out of the room. All right. I think that's a joke. Hold on a second. Let me give this guy, let me introduce this guy to the timeout function, even though I've seen his name before. Grim Reaper says, what happens if a player is bashed when he is all in? Shut the fuck up. Come on. Hold on. Nope, that's not it. So nope. So it's his responsibility to tell people how to play. No? What's happening with these comments here? I don't understand. Give these people a timeout.
I'm not reading the comments, so.
Kevin Matt says, you signed a patch deal with 888 for the final table. Did Unibet offer anything? And did you get $15,000 like William Kassouf allegedly got?
I'm not going to discuss about my sponsor deals. But I'm having a patch deal, that's correct, with 888, but I'm not going to tell how much or what the conditions are. Yeah, I have a deal with 888.
Okay. Cool. Oh boy, it's going to be a name. Kulzipkin. Kulderzipkin asks, does he still have a season ticket for his favorite Belgian soccer team?
Yes, I have, and I will always have. Yeah, I do. FCB. My nickname FCB is FC Bruges. And we won today, 4-0. Yay.
You sound really excited about that.
Yes, I am. I'm always excited that they win. Okay. Yeah, no, I still have season tickets. I have season tickets since at least 20 years now, I think.
Bobby McDermott, what would be your tournament director call on the verbal action of William K. on Jack F., his name's Jack E., Jack Eiffel's ruling that he wasn't allowed to talk to Moss on William's final action in the hand to call all in for $4 million?
Is that like the one player to a hand? I mean, well, Kassouf asked what you want me to do, and it's one player to a hand. You cannot ask advice to any other player or person in the room what you want to do with your hand. So it's a good call there from Jack. It's one player to a hand. Even if both of us, me and you, are in a pot, and I'm asking you what you want me to do.
Jack up. He's gonna be the director at the final table. We got to get him on your good side. We agree, Jack. You made the right call all the time. I agree.
Yes, I agree with the ruling there. One player, two hands.
We want to get Jack's going to be the final table guy, right? He's doing the main event one.
Yeah, Zoom he will. Yeah.
Yep, we love Jack. Jack, we love you. Please treat our guy right. Please don't give him any out of line rulings. Please, thank you. Please, thank you. Please. Thank you. Satellite player says, if I go all in and they call. Oh my God. Let me ban this guy. Hold on a second. It's a terrible question. All right. I'm waiting for more of these ruling. I like the ruling questions. I like some of these questions. I wish I had some imaginary rulings to give you, but online we don't need a tournament director at the cash game table. So
no, not really.
I don't have to worry about those ones. Did we go over DGen stories yet? Do you have any DGen stories? That you would tell?
Not really.
That you would tell?
Well, I said not really, and if I would have one, I probably wouldn't share them anyway.
Yeah, I don't think you'd share it anyway. You have any plans after the main event? So what's your schedule look like November on?
I'm staying here likely until next Saturday, the 5th, flying back to London. And I'm running a tournament from the last weekend of November until the first weekend of December. And apart from that, I don't have anything fixed yet. Probably go to EPT Prague in December. But in November, I don't know what I want to do. Maybe like a small vacation or something. I'm not sure yet what I want to do. EPT Prague, maybe PCA in January, or Aussie Millions as well. Maybe one of the two. I'll see after I win the main, or after the main event is done. I mean, a lot will depend on the results, of course, as well. So maybe I have like if you win, maybe you have some other duties like to do as well for like press and stuff. So I'll see how, once the dust has been settled a little bit down, what my plans will be for afterwards.
Okay. I'm excited to follow along. I'm excited to watch.
Maybe there's Master Classics in Amsterdam. I might go there as well. Not sure. So much stuff going on.
You can do anything you want, man. You can do anything you want. You got the life's your oyster. You have the success with the, already won the $1 million, and who knows how much more you could win. So, I mean, you got all the options in the world. So you can still keep working. You can keep doing that. Are you going to keep working outside of the event at the end of the month? You're going to keep a tournament director's position?
That's something I will decide somewhere in December, what I'm going to do with the rest of my career as a TD. Like I say, a lot will depend on the result anyway. So I'll see. Maybe even if I win, I might just continue. And maybe if I finish 9th, I might just stop. I don't know yet. It's. I haven't thought about it, and I don't want to think about it right now. My focus is currently on the final table itself, and that's by far the most important thing for me. This will be by far the most important days of my poker career anyway. So I want to keep the focus on that and think about other stuff once everything is over. So we'll see.
I like that, man. I like it a lot. I'm excited to follow along. I'm sure everyone out there right now.
I'm excited too. I mean, I'm eager to start actually right now. I mean, if they say we're going to start now, I'm completely fine with it.
What are you gonna do right now up to leading up? So you're in Vegas. I think you're staying at the Vdara, I believe.
Yes, I'm at the Vdara here since Thursday. I'll just stay here, chill a bit around. So not doing much. Just slowly prepare myself for the big one. That's all. You have some media duties for ESPN 2 days. Might play the 25K tomorrow here at Aria.
How rich? Okay.
Like a good one to play, I think. Just a good preparation.
Why not play a 25K to prepare? Why not? It's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to play like a high roller as well, so it sounded like a good time of an opportunity to. Yeah.
Fuck it, you're there. Why not play? What else you got? I mean, might as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking about playing. Pretty sure I will be playing it actually. So.
All right, give the people listening out there, give them one piece of life advice and one piece of poker advice for them to take away as they wrap up their listening to the podcast right now.
Life advice or poker advice. Yeah, I mean, as a poker player, be patient. Make sure if you want to make it as a poker player, be patient. Have good bankroll management. Study a lot on the game. But still enjoy life as well. Try to enjoy life. Don't make sure that poker doesn't take up all of your energy and all of your time. Try to enjoy life.
I like it. I like it. Guys, on that note, we're going to wrap it up. I don't know when I'm going to be back. I don't have anything else scheduled.
You're coming to Vegas or not? No.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably not. Not like that excited to go watch. I don't know.
Maybe for the final day or something. Really interesting.
Maybe. Well, I think Halloween's this weekend, and I think I don't know. We might get out of line, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see what's going to happen. I don't know. I kind of wanted to go out there, but I still might. I mean, I might go. I might go out there. It's not too late. So we'll see what happens. Today's Wednesday. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
It is Wednesday, yeah. Final is on Tuesday. So. Man,
you're right. Now you got me thinking about it, so sorry. I'll consider it. But yeah, guys, I don't know when I'm going to be back on the podcast. I got a lot of people lined up. I have like 1,000 people I need to set a date for. I just really haven't yet. So I'm working on some other videos. Have a video out today about investigating Check Your Privilege. And that's it. If you want to watch this back, if you're watching this live, you can find it all on YouTube, on my YouTube channel at JohnGrim1. You can follow Kenny on Twitter at Spacey FCB.
Correct.
SPACEY.
Yeah, FCB.
Do you have anything else? You have Instagram, you have Snapchat,
Yes,
you got a Chatterbait. What do you got?
Instagram is the same, Spacey FCB as well. So
Okay,
it's all Spacey FCB.
Spacey FCB. Okay, you got a Snapchat?
No.
You got a Chatterbait?
Should I have Snapchat?
I mean,
I don't know. I never used it, so I don't know.
You're not missing much now. Well, that's it, guys. I'm out of here. Peace out. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for all the comments. Kenny, thanks for coming on, my friend. Good luck.
Welcome. Yeah.
Play 25K tomorrow.
Gonna win that one, for sure.
Take it down, man. State your intentions. Guys, we're out. Peace out. Adios. See y'all later.